I think it's recording. I hope it's recording. This is all trial and error. Yeah, looks like it's recording. Pause, stop. Okay. Coolio, Julio. All right. Woo. I hope everything is working nicely. If not, whatever. We are live. At least I'm certain we're live. Can anyone confirm in the comments that I'm live? Okay. Moin, Toby. Yes. Hello, everyone. And yeah, welcome to the first episode of the ABC show. I am equal parts elated and also impatient to present this casual conversation style show for you all. And I'm really excited to do this, to be here. And so let's get right to it. My first guest ever, and it might be ever, I don't know if this will continue. This might be a one and done thing. But my first guest ever is aspiring photographer and filmmaker, Chris Psutka. He has successfully launched a brand, Chris Psutka, and under Chris Psutka is what he does all of his photography content and filmmaker content. And he has also launched a clothing line called Clothed Perspective. And so, yeah, I'm gonna invite Chris to join us. Oh gosh, I need to figure out how to do this on Instagram. Wait, apply to, go live, hide live from, oh gosh. These are the technical difficulties I was talking about, folks. Aha, invite to join, voila. Did you get the invite, Chris?
Yeah.
Nice.
We're good.
Maybe I'm gonna mute my computer. Maybe that's a good idea. Yeah, there we go. So that you're not hearing the Zoom call.
Okay. Yeah, I've got, okay. So I've got you in my ear now. Yeah, I gotta keep you in my ear. That should be fine.
Okay. Chris, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So the rules of this are very incredibly simple. We just talk about anything but, well, you finish that, anything but.
ABC. ABC. Anything but you know what.
Yes. Very good. So I gave you a brief introduction there, but can you elaborate on that? Tell us, or tell the viewers more about yourself, your profession, what you do, who you are, whatever you want to say.
Yeah. Recently I moved to Toronto to pursue photography and filmmaking. Quite the time to do it. It's a hot spot for us in Canada. But I'm healthy.
With that there.
I'm good. I'm healthy. Oh yeah, right. Wow, that's number one. We're gonna have to keep a scorecard of this bad. But yeah, I'm just really excited to be in a city that is full of driven people and surrounded by that, because I do come from more of a small town atmosphere, and I don't know, that was kind of just getting to me. So I just wanted to be surrounded by a ton of people that are pursuing their dreams as well. So that's the reason for coming here.
Nice. Sounds good.
Other than that, personal, I really enjoy music, and we're back. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, I actually went to college for jazz drumming, so I did music for a very long time. Recently, when I've been creating videos, I've been editing to the music as a big portion of my creativity. So music is still very prominent in my life. I'm just using it in a different way now.
That's interesting. So you're like a maybe were you what inspired the movie Whiplash? Did you ever see that film about the drummer with the crazy?
I did, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a rite of passage.
For legal reasons, you can't say it was based on your life, but blink twice. Awesome. What are you currently working on right now?
Right now, like within the last month, I launched my YouTube channel. Which screen should I look at? Like, which one is being recorded?
The Zoom's being recorded, but we want to create, we want the people on Instagram to think that we're there. So you just look wherever you want. I'm not too concerned about that.
Oh. All right. What was the question?
What are you doing right now?
What am I working on? Right. So I just recently launched my YouTube channel. That's always been just a huge passion of mine. I'm such a big fan of the platform, and I always have been. This time I'm going self-titled. I'm just going for what I'm interested in, which is photography and film. And what I've noticed, what's really freeing about it is that I can just kind of make what I want to make, instead of kind of having like a form that I'm fitting to.
Of course. And why have you?
Really enjoying that.
No,
like you said,
we need like those stop-start signs. Like.
Yeah.
No, but I was curious about what has happened in your life, or why have you settled into visual arts, visual communication? Because I've been fortunate that I actually know you really well. I've known you most of your life and all of my life, but so how did you settle into this profession, this art form?
I have no idea. Like dad's like a doctor and mom's an accountant. My sister and my brother are both artsy, so I don't know, somewhere in there we just got it in our blood, and it's always just been something that I've wanted to do in whatever form it may be. And I've tried so many different forms and failed and learned from so many different forms that it's just been something that we just kind of grew up with. Maybe it was we were actually homeschooled, so I was homeschooled till grade 9. So it was a really freeing atmosphere to grow up in and be creative. So that's probably where it came from. And then it was just like, I can't not do that.
Nice, interesting, correlation there. Good connection.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I always find, especially with your story, as you said, you have tried so many different things in your life. You've traveled, you've done a lot. How did you get from where you were to where you are now? Like if you can answer that. I know it's a bit of a more complicated question. In 1,000 words or less.
Yeah. By just doing. Every time something came to my head, I would just do it. And it was just kind of just testing and testing and testing. Something started clicking. Something started clicking. Figuring out what I like doing versus what I was just kind of pulled towards. So throughout the years, it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of error, but but here we are.
Okay, and And I've followed your work. Obviously, you're incredibly active on Instagram, and you have a message that you're trying to share with people. You know, you're really passionate about something, and so for the people watching, what is that message? What are you wanting to share with the world?
Basically, just living the life that you can live, being happy. I find that, and like I used to be this person that was very miserable, because when you're working a job you don't like, and you feel stuck in that job and that life, and you're not sure what you want to do with your life in general, it just can be very overwhelming, and you don't really see that version, that life that you could have, or maybe you don't see the roadmap of how to get there. So basically, I'm just trying to help other people realize that that's not how you should be living. You shouldn't just kind of settle for working for someone else, doing not just that working for someone else, but for working for someone else doing something you don't like, just so that you can pay the bills and then go home and relax and just kind of try and forget about it. There's so much more that's going on that's so worth it if you want to put in the work and get shit done. It's out there and it's possible.
Yeah, and that's a great message. And I know myself, like, you and I are on, you know, we're on the same page. We've had similar paths in that sense, where we've been I very much prioritize, you know, my happiness and what I want to do above anything else. However, I think it's equally important that you look at it from the perspective that we are both two people. We don't have spouses, partners, we don't have children, we don't, you know, we've had a very specific, a different path, that's a better word, a different path than other people. So with your message, which I agree with, and I think it's great, but what about for those people who have other underlying circumstance? You know, they do have bills to pay, they have families to feed, and they are maybe not finding the purpose or the joy or the passion in what they're doing. What would you say to those people who are kind of stuck, you know, more stuck than we are?
Yeah, I would. The first thing I'd say is, where is your money going?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you could spend your money on anything nowadays, and very, very easily. So what I used to do is I used to spend my money on alcohol, a lot of it, to deal with that crappy job and that life I didn't like. So first things first, where is your money going? Your leftover money. So obviously bills and whatnot have to get taken care of, but if you have anything extra after that, where's it going, right? Like, are you using it to basically kind of like use it as a distraction in any form, like video games or drinking or anything like that, to just distract yourself from your situation? So that's my first thing. If it comes to like spouses and couples and families and stuff like that, yeah, of course it's going to be harder. But you also have to be aligned with your spouse, and if they're not in the same headspace, like that's a tough call too. Because if you really, really want out, but they're not willing to join you, then that could be. That's a really tricky one.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this is something that people are working on their whole lives, right? You know, it's kind of, or would you disagree with that? Like, do you think you found the end? Like, have you found happiness? I know that's kind of like, I don't know, it feels odd to say out loud, but
yeah, I know. It's so strange. It does come up tricky, and especially it's really hard. Like, I'm still trying to find the way to break through some people, right? Like telling someone that they can be happy, and that whole happiness talk itself is just it can be just really cheesy, but it's cheesy and it's true. I lost my train of thought. Where are we going?
It's all good. I'll throw another question at you.
Yeah.
I know through my own personal experience, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but there are sacrifices that you have to make in pursuit of this happiness. Can you elaborate on that a bit more, or what are some sacrifices that you have made? Because maybe there are some of people watching this right now, or other people out there, they're dealing with the same things. They don't know if they can sacrifice that too, and maybe hearing from you what you have sacrificed will help them with
that. I like the way I look at it is kind of like taking a couple steps backwards for the rest of your life. So if that means getting an apartment with a friend instead of getting an apartment by yourself, or like getting a house with a few people, or you know what I mean, like cutting your bills back a bit so that you can have that extra income to start pursuing what you want, and taking those little steps initially to get something off the ground. And it's not going to be quick. It's going to take a long time. Like I launched 2 months ago. I don't expect to see any income or anything from it for a couple of years. I set myself up for success. I set myself up for success there because I have a place I can afford this income now. Money doesn't really go to anything. My money doesn't really go to anything but bills and bills. So I'm being very conservative and just putting everything I can into what I want to do, so that in a year or two, maybe I have that opportunity where I can go full time into it. Maybe I can set myself up so that I can do this and then change everything.
Yeah. No, those are, yeah, I think this, again, it goes back to you telling people to evaluate, like, where are you putting your money? Where are you putting, and not just your money, where are you putting your energy? I think it's really important that people don't take enough time to evaluate, okay, where am I putting my energy, my money? Like, where is all of me going, right?
I'm kidding. And like, I talk a lot on my content about work ethic. But when I say work ethic, I'm talking about like everything. So how hard are you working at your job and at the thing that you're pursuing? Yeah, for sure. But also, like, how hard are you working on your mental? Are you getting the correct amount of sleep? Are you figuring out what the correct amount of sleep is for you so that you can have the most energy? And just basically just doing that for the work ethic basically consumes like your whole life. It's not just work ethic for work ethic for everything, so that you can be at your top performance, so you're not just like overwhelmed and burnt out.
Yeah. And all of this you have brought into your clothing line, your clothing brand. So tell us about that a bit, because it's super cool. And the reason, like, it's not an excuse, but seriously, I have your website bookmarks, and I can't decide which one I want to buy. So I'm probably gonna buy 2 or 3. I just don't know. But yeah, talk about how your message has been incorporated into that.
Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of choices. So I almost said it. During this last period, I found a book called The 4-Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss. And it is about basically like trying to okay, there's a lot of it that doesn't really apply to this right now. But one thing that does is like making a business that you can basically do anywhere. So an online business is a really good way to do it. Something that you can do from your laptop, so that you could do it wherever you want. Like, you could literally be on the road traveling and keep your business afloat. And what happened was I was prepping my YouTube channel, and I was like, well, I might as well prep merch. Like, before the channel's even launched, why not get merch ready, right? And that idea turned into Clothes Perspective, which is the company that I launched for clothing, for inspiration, for drive, for everything about happiness. And I found a couple of cool avenues that you can actually go about doing this with a very, very small upfront cost. And it's like really opened my eyes to what's possible nowadays with the internet and all these companies that are making it easier to start your own company, basically. It's been such a cool, eye-opening experience. Then the actual company itself, I found a way to take my photography, mainly my landscape, like outdoor photography, and make it into a bit of a stencil. And so I've thrown some images on the backs of the shirts, which are like really personal to me. Those images are awesome. I love them. They've been some of my favorites throughout this year or so of pursuing photography at a very rapid pace. And then the front, it was just some messages that I wanted people to just be able to wear out in public and have other people take it in. So, and then that message can also mean something to you as well, of course. But that way, there's a lot of negativity in the world, and I think that a message like something like this, Dream Execute Execute, or another one's Happiness Over Everything, just being out in the world and someone seeing it is a really nice thing. Because I think we should make positivity louder, because it's a lot easier to be negative than it is to be positive. So let's fight that battle.
I agree. It takes. I know I've already mentioned this. I don't know how many times, but it takes more energy to spread positivity than it does negativity. So for sure.
Yeah.
Circling back to photography and filmmaking, because that's what I told people you were here for.
Yeah.
Not that we've gotten off topic, because this is your message. This is what you're all about. But it's important that they hear about this too. So a big question I had for you, and it's a question I really want to ask, is for people who are doing photography, videography, filmmaking right now, but just as a hobby, how do they take it to the next level? Because I love to do photography as a hobby, and then I get these ideas. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool to do, but I don't know how to make that jump. What's your advice for that?
The way I did it is I just immersed myself head first. So I made a commitment to myself to post a photo to Instagram every single day for 365 days. And that way I have to create, I have to learn the craft, and I have to share it too. And this might be a little off topic, but I think a lot of that people struggle with is opinions of other people, and sharing your work online especially is very nerve-wracking to some.
So getting over that hurdle,
just putting yourself out there is such a big step on its own. So getting comfortable with that while doing your craft at a very rapid rate, especially in the beginning, because like my internet connection says it's unstable. Well, okay, we'll see.
I think that's the best way to grow.
I think that's the best way to grow, is just to go at it full force, especially in the beginning, because like you're gonna mess up so much as it is. So just go and get that stuff out of the way. Just start making all those little mistakes and learning from them as quickly as you can. And I think that goes for like anything, not just photography, but that's what I would recommend if you really want to get into it and learn really quickly.
All right. Yeah, that's great, because I will fully admit that I used to lie to myself and say I'm not a perfectionist, but this idea of, quality over quantity, right, used to hold me back so much. And I think what you're talking about is like reversing that, right? Just publish, do, get it out there.
I'd say both. I'd say quality and quantity. And what I mean by that is like, you're not going to put out the best quality piece every single day when you're doing it every single day, but the quality comes down to put out the best thing you can in the time that you have. So if you have a day, put out the best thing you can that day, right?
I like that. It's a nice level of stress too, you know, the kind of the good stress, you know, the kind of stress you need to push yourself to get over that, right? To get over that fear.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. So again, continuing with this photography, videography, all that jazz, what are we've now told people how to get to this step to make it, you know, to get out of this hobby zone and start producing your content in a more professional way. What are some programs, applications, all that jazz that you
right. If we're talking photography, I'm using Lightroom, so Adobe Lightroom right now. That's like kind of like the staple that a lot of people are using these days. There are a couple other programs that I've seen that are coming out that have more of like a specialty to them, and that's why someone might use it. That's what I'm noticing. But I think Lightroom at the end of the day would be your best bet, especially if you want to learn the craft itself, because you're in control of everything in there. It's not like you could like set a filter on something, really. You're going to be doing it all yourself. And then Photoshop, obviously, as well, going along with Lightroom. Those two go hand in hand. And that can get into some really fun stuff. Like some people wouldn't even call Photoshopped images photography, but I think if you're creating anything and it involves a picture, then you can call it photography. If you're going video, it really just depends. Like I'm sticking with Adobe just because I'm using Adobe for this side, and I've grown up using Premiere Pro. It's nice to have it all in one, and everything kind of just works together. So like I use After Effects a decent amount. So After Effects is a program that goes with your video editing. Premiere Pro, that'll help you do a lot of like 3D and text and animation and stuff like that. So that way I can take a project from video and launch it into there and do some stuff and bring it back. That's my big reason for using Premiere over anything else. And the fact that I started on it, so I don't want to learn another program. I'm happy with this one, and it is rated at the top. But there's also like DaVinci Resolve, which I would love to get into for its color grading aspects. So if you're looking to do color, if you want to be a colorist or something like that, DaVinci Resolve would be my go-to. And then there's Final Cut Pro as well. And I don't know enough about it to use it to say much about it, but I've heard it's decent.
You mean to tell me that for your videos you're not using Apple iMovie? I remember thinking it was like the next Scorsese or something making videos on Apple iMovie. Those were the good old days.
Well, I just switched over to Mac, so I was using Windows Movie Maker when I first started.
And you know what? I should have said that. If those are the programs you want to use, if those are the programs, because I think you can speak from, as you just said, right? As you just mentioned, you don't want to learn another program because you're comfortable with this. So you know what? I apologize, because if Movie Maker, iMovie, if that's what you're comfortable with, if that's what you are able to use to create your beautiful content, then who am I to judge? No one. I'm no one.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. It basically whatever works for you and whatever helps you get your message and your story out there, and use that. And that goes with gear too. There's a whole talk going around that like gear doesn't matter. Or gear matters, and it's just like this huge conversation. I saw a video recently that said it a lot better, and it said gear isn't the point. So whatever you use to tell your story and get your message out there, and whatever works for you, just use that.
Okay. There, you heard it here, folks. Just use that. Also promoting sustainability with that too. Use what you've got. That's an important message that we want to spread on the ABC show as well.
Yes. Oh yes. Use what you got.
How long have you been in Toronto now? Like, For what? What day is it? What time is it? Time is like an unknown concept right now. Have you been there 4 months now?
It was kind of cutting out a bit.
Oh shoot! I was asking, how long have you been in Toronto now? 4 months or since January, right?
Yeah, just about 3 months, just over 3 months now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And what is something like unexpected that you learned moving to Toronto about the city?
I didn't know it had
beaches.
Oh,
I think that's pretty awesome. Like it's so funny. Like I've been to Toronto
over the years,
but it's only ever been for like coming here to see a band or a concert or something. So most of the time I haven't really been down by the water that much. So yeah, I really had no idea that they had like nice beaches, and it's a pleasant surprise.
yes, because for those of you watching who are not familiar with Canadian geography, Toronto is situated on Lake Ontario. Like it's right on Lake Ontario.
Yeah.
So before you came to Toronto, then did you envision it was like Cliffs of Moher style, like it just dropped off at the end of the city?
Yeah, no, I just never thought about it. Like I always just saw the front of Toronto as it is at Lakeshore.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Yeah, which is, for those who don't know, which is just like basically like a dock.
Yeah. Gotcha. And what are some areas, some neighborhoods you have really enjoyed from Toronto? Where do you like to shoot? What places do you frequent?
I've been going everywhere. So for those of you who don't know, I own a one wheel, which is like a powered skateboard. And it's the best mode of transportation in a big city because I can get anywhere faster than almost anyone else. So I've been exploring the city a lot, at least while I've had the time where I can have it. Nope, can't say that. The places that I've enjoyed, that I've really found, that I've gone back to, have been usually near the water, because I love water. Like it's something about it is amazing and just like makes me feel at home. So down by the old Ontario place has been a reoccurring spot for me. It's amazing for sunsets. I've hit up the beaches once or twice, so I'll be back there for sure. And that's like 10K one way. So the fact that I can get there and back is ridiculous. I've got a video coming out today at 1 o'clock that has a really cool spot that I just found in it. It's kind of like a little one wheel paradise. So I'll definitely be heading back there. And it's really nice. It's a big fat tire, so you can go off-roading. So a lot of the pathways to get there are through dirt trails. So that's like some of my favorite stuff, is hitting dirt trails.
Nice. Okay. All right. We're gonna talk about this one wheelie.
One more thing.
Oh, yeah.
Downtown is like my favorite spot. So just like in the midst of the city, I'm just so happy. Tall buildings, tons of people, like just that drive atmosphere. I love it. Can't get enough.
You've only been there a few months, but have you already developed this opinion, like east versus west? Like, are you part of that now? Do you have a preference?
I know absolutely nothing about like Toronto culture and that slang side of things. So yeah, that's going to be a fun one to learn. I guess I've seen a couple of TikToks that have to do with Toronto that are pretty funny. But yeah, I know nothing. I'm still a country boy.
Do you have any like good Toronto stories you can share with our viewers? Any anecdotes or things like that you would like to divulge?
Yeah, it's pretty repetitive for me. I'd say like the coolest things that happen to me, I end up shooting them in a video because I'm going out to explore to find something. There's definitely some interesting people, so that's always really entertaining. I love it when I come across someone who's busking, because I'll usually chill and watch him for a bit. And I ended up having a nice conversation with the one guy about audio and microphones and whatnot. He was just talking about my gear, and he was looking into something similar. So it was a cool experience just chatting with someone else who's out there just getting it. But as for like really interesting like stories, nothing too much yet. I'm just working.
Nothing too much yet. All right. Kind of the final question for the interview portion of the ABC show. Have you noticed any changes in your work or how you conduct your work since making the transition to Toronto, to a city more metropolitan? Have you noticed any differences?
Another reason why I wanted to move here was I wanted to start doing architectural photography. Really, there's a guy that I've been following named Alan Polander, who's just a beast at it. And I started looking at how the lines work together and how the contrast between the old and new buildings and just the cityscapes, and I find it very fascinating. And it just kind of works with how my brain works, like especially line work. So I'm pursuing architectural photography as well as landscape while I'm here. Learning a ton about that new side of it. But what happened was after I stopped posting for 365 days, at that point I started taking all that I had learned about, let's say, lighting and composition and all the technical side of the actual camera before taking the picture, all the settings and whatnot, and using those to your advantage. I took everything and I went, okay, now let's actually compose our shots. And now instead of like taking a shot and trying to make it the best, let's make it the best from the beginning. Like I want it to look how I envision it right from the get-go. I don't want to take a shot and be like, oh, this could look cool. No, it's going to look cool. It's going to look really good. I'm going to make it that way. So I'm taking more time with an individual shot as opposed to put out every single day. I'm still putting out a ton, but I'm not putting out stuff that I don't feel is up to the standards that I want now. So it is more of that, a bit more of that quality and a teeny bit less of quantity right now. But at the same time, the lack of photos has just been surpassed with video now.
Yeah. Do you prefer one over the other at all? Do you prefer videography to photography, filmmaking? Where do you lie there?
I don't have a preference. I've always been video until the last year or so, when I found photography and really was like, oh, this is actually something that I really enjoy, and I saw it in a different way. They're two different beasts completely. So I don't have a preference, but the thing that I like about it is I can reach different people with the same message into different forms, because people are different, right? Like some people like audio, some people like written words, some people like video, and then there's combinations of all of them, right? So whatever, if I can just get out to more people through different avenues, then I'm happy. And yeah, I don't have a preference at the moment.
Okay, good to know. Well, wonderful. My tea is cold, so
Ice water is nice and cold.
So I think now I'd like to pass the mic, I don't know why I did this, is any of our viewers or anyone watching, I've been so into this, I don't even know if anyone's watching or what's going on. Are you able to see?
I've taken a look here and there. I actually saw Jonas is there. Hey, Jonas. I haven't seen you in time. I went to college with Jonas.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
Jonas?
Anyone got anything?
Yeah, are you able to scroll? Because I can't, I wish you could see my setup right now. Oh my gosh, you would just laugh because I can't.
Hey, Kate. Oh, Herget. Yeah, there's a bunch of people on here.
Does anyone Do you see any questions from anyone about photography, videography, filmmaking?
No. Someone said you're fuzzy at one point. Your screen was fuzzy. Yeah, no. Seems like everyone's just enjoying. Oh, here we go. Maybe. Yeah, I want to know about Chris One Wheel. Those are sick. I want to know more about it.
That's it. I have the same. Like, what is a one wheel? What I have seen you on it. Like, how is it powered? Like, what happens if it stops? How do you brake? Yeah. Let's do this. Good one. Good question.
Okay, so going back to the part where I said, watch what you spend your money on, just like completely disregard that when it comes to it. Spend your money on it. Best investment I've ever made. It's the best thing I own. Like even above my camera, I would put my one wheel. So it is board, one big like basically like a go-kart tire, about this big. That wide. It just sits in the center. And it just sits in the center of the board. So on either side of the wheels right here. And this model, which is their top model, goes 30 kilometers an hour. You can get about 30-kilometer range on it. Yeah. So I can go 30K there and back on a full charge. So like I said, in the city, it's perfect.
Wait, sorry to interrupt you. You can travel 30 kilometers like a distance, or you can get up to a speed of 30 kilometers an hour.
Both. Yes.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah. So basically to operate it, a lot of electronic skateboards have a controller that's like gas and brakes. So this one it's got foot sensors. So it knows when you're standing on it and it will engage. And then to disengage it, you basically just lift your front heel and it knows that you're stopping now. So you like slow down and disengage and then it just shuts off. So it's all in your feet. You don't need anything in your hands. So it's perfect because I do a lot of my filming on my one wheel, which makes it very unique style. You're getting shots that you wouldn't normally get. So I'm usually filming while I'm riding. But you just lean on the board forwards and you go forwards, and then you come back and you slow down. So it's all about just leaning, and it's the closest thing you can get to snowboarding without snowboarding. So you actually feel like carving when you get up to like 15, 20K and above. You can actually feel the carve of the board. It's unlike anything else.
So I'm relieved to know that it runs on sensors, because like if you had to abandon it, it's not like this thing would just keep going and like you would never see it again.
No, if you fall off or you jump off or you crash or something, it's shut off. It will be done.
And where did you discover this? Because I have never seen one of these until I saw yours.
I think the first place I ever saw one was Chris Pontius, one of the Jackass members. I followed him on Instagram and he had one. And I was like, what is this? Because I didn't realize it had a motor in it. And he was just like going uphill. I was like, what? And like just coming from a board sport background, like skateboarding has always been my life. Imagining going up a hill on a skateboard without pushing is just like mind blowing. And then I tried my buddy Jamie's one wheel probably maybe even like 3 years ago. And that's when I was like, yeah, this has to be in my life. And yeah, I've had mine for over a year now, and it's hands down the best thing I know.
Okay. Hashtag one wheel crew, hashtag what's like your official like one wheel gang hashtag?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sweet. So when you're not, love this question. One of my favorite questions to ask anyone: when you're not doing what you do to make a living, when you're not doing your photography, videography. And now I'm going to add to that, when you're not one wheeling, what do you like to do? How do you like relax, and what does Chris do during his days?
Yeah, I go. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I do when I don't one wheel if I have time. Yeah, that's what I would do. I don't know. Like, I really enjoy listening to music. I'm reading a couple books at the moment, but that's more like just kind of before bed, unwind kind of thing. Right now, I have so much I want to accomplish, and I have so much work ahead of me that I don't really put aside free time. I know exactly where I want to get to, and I know exactly how to get there now, which is really nice to have, because a lot of the time you're just like, oh man, I know what I want, but how do I get there? So once you have that path in front of you, and you want it that bad, like I don't know, I don't really want to put time aside to do nothing or to relax. I'm just in go mode.
You failed to mention your peppers.
Oh yes. Okay. Yes, I grow hot peppers. That's right. I tried it as a business a while back. I started for fun, and then I tried it as a business. I didn't like it in mass quantity. I'm not that much of a gardener. But I've got like 6 plants. So I've got like 5 different varieties right now. And it's something that I really enjoy. I think it's part of it is just like creation in general. I just love creation. And so seeing that side of life, like the nature side of creation, is really cool and fascinating to me. And especially because like I'll grow something mild, but I'll also grow like the hottest in the world. So when you see like pepper that's like this big and just looks like all warty and like has like a pincer at the end, and you know what this thing is capable of, it fascinates me. It's so cool. And they just look so fun. And I think my favorite thing about it is just the daily growth, because every single day it looks different. It's a bit bigger, it looks slightly different. It's really cool. It's always nice to go check on them and see what's up. So I have them in my closet right now. It's like a little Harry Potter closet. They'll go outside once it's warm enough. Thank you for reminding me.
No worries. So that's part of my job as the interviewer.
Yes.
To remind you of your daily lifestyle. Sadly, we are coming to the end of this. But I have thoroughly enjoyed this. This has been awesome. So a big part of why I wanted to do this is so that people have other things to talk about, and I wanted to say a big part of that again, but I don't want to say a big part twice. But something vital to help people who are watching, who are engaging with us, to do that is to give them some take homes. So some questions, some conversation starters, things like that they can reflect on after the show today. So maybe, do you want to give the people watching a question or a conversation prompt that they should be thinking about after this?
Yeah, just something light, maybe. Like, are you happy with the way you're living? Could you be doing better? Could you be closer to where you want to be? I don't know. It's a lot of brainstorming. Like when you're a kid, everyone's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then that just kind of like fades away. As you get older, they don't really keep asking that question. You know what I mean? Like, no one's like going to a 20-year-old and going like, you still want to be a firefighter? Go do it. You still want to be an astronaut? Go do it. So I'd say, if you don't know what you want to do in life, start brainstorming, start testing, start asking people, even like asking your friends, like, hey, what is it about me that you like? Like, why are you my friend? You know what I mean? Like, try to dig deep and find what's meaningful to you and get after that. If you aren't already doing that, and if you are.
Amazing. My tea string just fell right into my tea, my whole tea bag's in there. Not gonna fish that out on camera. Something really profound that you have made me think about is this idea of combining passions and really evaluating your life and knowing what you're passionate about, and specifically not just thinking about, okay, I'm passionate about this, and this, but how it can bring purpose into your life and how you can harness it and utilize it to better yourself. And I read once that you should have 4 hobbies. Okay, you should have one hobby that makes you money, something that you really enjoy doing that you can profit off of. You should have a second hobby. This is not in like order, but just a second hobby that challenges you physically, helps you stay fit, helps you stay physically healthy. You should have a third hobby that challenges you mentally, helps you stay mentally fit, helps, keep the old ticker working. And finally, you should have a fourth hobby that challenges you artistically, that helps you to express yourself in some kind of artistic way. And so for the people who have been watching today, I encourage you to take what Chris has said here about happiness and finding your passion and incorporate that into what I just mentioned about these 4 hobbies, and really understand how you can make your passions, work in your favor. Because for myself, that has been something I have struggled with for so long, and something I continue to struggle with is I'm passionate about so many things, and it has caused me almost like physical pain to figure out how I can still do all my passions while being able to provide for myself. So that's what I'm throwing your way, folks, today.
One thing that you just said though is mixing passions. And I think that's where you're really gonna find something that's something unique and something different, and something that is worthwhile to pursue as more than just a hobby. So if you can mix 1 or 2 things really well, you're gonna do your research, make sure no one else is doing it, or maybe a few people. But that's where you can really find success and you can really grow something.
Yeah, exactly. I like to think of that as like mixing colors, right? You take 2 different hobbies, you mix them together. You're sure someone else may have mixed the same hobbies and they may be doing something similar, but you might add a little bit more of this hobby, a little bit more of that, and you've created something your own, something unique. So yeah, this has been a blast. It's been really good. I know we already said that. I can't reiterate it enough.
For all the viewers out there, obviously I've known this wonderful lady for my whole life, and this is one of my first experiences getting to experience her passion, like journalism and all that side of it. So this has been such a fun experience for me, not only just to talk about what I'm doing, but to experience Chanelle in all her glory. And it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Those are such kind words. I want to also take a moment. Can you tell people, for those who have really enjoyed it and for those who want to follow you, learn more about your message, photography, filmmaking, where can they find you?
Right now, I'm basically just on Instagram and YouTube for the most part. Like Chris underscore Psutka, Psutka. You remember that like opening a hop or something like that. So if you ever forget. So Chris underscore Psutka, that'll be at Instagram and at YouTube as well. And I'm just sharing my love for the craft and trying to get better every single day, and hoping to help the next person find their thing.
Nice. I will be posting those after the live, so that if there was some kind of connection issue, audio issue, what have it, people will have that at their disposal.
Yeah, that sped up really fast. I missed all that.
No, I was just saying, I was saying that there may have been a connection issue. So I will post about where people can find you and follow you. Yeah,
It was very enjoyable to watch you as well. Thank you both. Oh, thank you very much.
yeah, thanks to anyone who watched. This was our first time doing this. I appreciate your patience with any issues that may have come about. But no, I could have talked for like another hour or much longer, Christopher. So I'm gonna be in chats with my producer, and we will definitely have you back on the show.
Right on. Yeah, it's been really nice. I don't get to see you as much, so this was fun way to catch up.
And again, to everyone who has been here, thank you so much for participating. And thank you for asking the gentleman who asked about the one meal, because that was very big on my mind as well. The show, I will be posting the show, uploading it to YouTube tomorrow. So for those who missed it, or for those who want to watch it again, want to rewatch, you will find it there on my YouTube channel. But other than that, stay safe, stay healthy mentally, physically, and good vibes in trying times.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Bye, Chris.